Hey everybody, welcome back to Nunnsense. We are in the kitchen with some of the tools that are going to make all of your tasks in the kitchen easier. Their number one requested question and item, knives. A couple of quality sharp knives, and if I had to say two knives that you're going to need, a paring knife and a small or just a chef knife that's comfortable for you. That way you've got slicing, dicing, chopping, and everything in between done. The cousin to that is going to be the cutting boards. Multiple types, because if you're cutting meat, you want vegetables, you don't want to cross-contaminate. Listen, if two cutting boards are good, then three is better. And get multiple types, everything from wood to plastic. You can't use wood in commercial kitchens, but your kitchen's not commercial. And what's the wood good for? Multiple things. How about this? Get a pretty one, keep it clean, and now you've got a charcuterie board and or a cutting board. You got your knives, you got your cutting boards, you're ready to do some chopping, slicing, dicing. Now let's get to cooking and some of the tools that you're going to need. These are awesome. Heat-proof rubber spatulas, multiple types, multiple colors, even for the holidays. Hey Frosty, why do you have these? They save you money, and that's part of Nunnsense. Try to get to the bottom of a peanut butter jar with a butter knife. You're going to leave some peanut butter in there. With this thing, you get into all the nooks and crannies. You just saved a few pennies. Pennies add up, and that equals dollars. Just make sure that they're heat-proof or heat-resistant. You don't want to stir soup or stocks or soufflés or anything and have it melting, because melted plastic is part of your soufflé. That's no good. And oh, one more thing. This is a spatula. This is a pancake turner. This is a pancake turner. This is a spatula. To our friends on the other side of the pond, it's also a fish slice. You'll have to explain that one to me. Other things to have in your kitchen. These are literally like my right and left hands. We're talking about tongs. You can grab hot items with them, including your mixing bowls. You can grab pots and pans. You can even slide out the oven drawers if you need to and you don't have a pot holder handy. And these things are so cool that Cisco wrote a song about them. Tong, 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 tong. I didn't realize he was such a culinarian. Let's get over to the mixing bowls. Have lots of them. If you're a baker, you already know this. You're going to have dozens of these things. I like them in glass so you can see what you're mixing, and I also like them in metal because metal can go on the stove top. So if you're making sauces or soups or anything that you need to keep warm, you got a big family meal coming, you can put it in a metal pan. Those can be safe in the oven, also keeping your product safe and out of the danger zone. Let's keep going. Some of the time savers in the kitchen, these are great tools. You can find them at anywhere from Big Lots to the fancy stores for a couple of bucks, or you can get them with all kind of fancy attachments. We're talking about a stick blender and or a hand mixer. These things save you a lot of time. Whisks are great. Short-term, quick type stuff, but if you're doing big volumes, you're trying to do black bean soup, things like that, and or any kind of blending where you just salad dressings. These things are awesome for whipping up a salad dressing, and of course with the mixer, these things are phenomenal for making light, fluffy mashed potatoes. A couple of essentials in the kitchen. These are also essentials, and I'll tell you why I love these. This is another time saver. I absolutely love these, whether it's the new fad and tech devices like the Instant Pot here, and or something that you can find at yard and or estate sales. Almost everyone I've ever been to has had some of these crock pots. This is older than I am, believe it or not. This was my mom and dad's that they handed down when they upgraded to a different version of the crock pot. Why are these things awesome? Time saver in the kitchen, and if you're on the go, moms and dads, you got some kids at home, you leave the notes, tell them how to program it and or do the delayed start. This thing is doing the cooking before you get home, so you've got a nice hot meal, and or you can do the same thing with the crock pot. We will be featuring this coming up on Nunnsense. In the kitchen, safety's another big thing, and believe it or not, your simple cleaning and wipe down rags sometimes are going to be used as pot holders. So anytime that I'm purchasing these, I'm always looking for deals. TJ Maxx, what's the other one? Marshall's, where they'll sometimes have bundles of these for just a few bucks. Make sure they're 100% cotton. That's the key. One, you can clean them pretty easy, use bleach and stuff like that on them. And two, if you ever have to use it as a pot holder, it's not going to melt in your hand. This is a love bug item. This is something that she picked up. Listen, if you're buying fresh produce, then undoubtedly you are going to get fruit bugs. And that's what this is. It's a fruit bug catcher. So these come apart. You put your little solution in there. Some people do sugar, water, and soap. Cindy likes to do Chardonnay away in a little dollop of soap and then put the lid on and set them either by the window or by the produce. The bugs go in, but they don't come out. And I asked Lovebug, I was like, why do you do the Chardonnay? Where'd you get that trick from? And she said, Alanis Morissette. The next two items kind of go together here. These are trivets, and they're made for if you have hot items that are either coming out of the oven or off the stove. You don't want to take those directly to the table and ruin your table, so these will help protect your table and or your countertop. You can get them out of stone material like the marble one here or these wicker ones, and they work fantastic to protect your countertops and your tables. And oven mitts. Yep, that's right. The original Ugg glove. Where do you think that came from? Don't act now. And or the knockoff. I think these came from either a Dollar General or a CVS or something like that, but they work fantastic. And this is another early version of the same thing. The downside to these, don't get them wet, because if they get wet and you grab something, it's going to steam burn your hand. But these are fantastic. Get your both hands on things like if you're moving Dutch ovens or anything like that, and you've got a few more seconds with the heat from these. And these kind of go with the crock pot and the Instapot here. You can leave directions, so I think every kitchen should have either a dry erase board or an accessible notepad, so you can leave something like, hey, pop this in the oven at 350, I'll see you when I get home. Two more items to go. One keeps you comfortable, one keeps you safe. I got some Flintstone feet going. Somebody needs a pedicure, but you know what? I'm still comfortable standing on the gel mat. You can get these multiple types, multiple varieties, find them pretty much anywhere. The former Bed Bath & Beyond, still find those online. They're not cheap, but they keep your feet very comfortable. That's for comfort. There's one more thing, and it's all about your safety. If you do a lot of frying, deep frying especially, an essential tool for safety, a fire extinguisher, something that's very easily accessible in case things get hot in the kitchen. This brand is really neat. It has this little valve on the top, the little green button, and that's how you can test it. If you push it down and it doesn't pop back up, it means you need to get a new fire extinguisher. But this thing is there when you need it, as long as you have it someplace easily accessible and handy. Using my notepad, going over my checklist, making sure that we got through all of the essential items that I think that any kitchen could use to help it run smoother and to help it be safer. Anything from your cutting boards, your pot holders, and or making it convenient in the kitchen. These get a lot of use in my kitchen here for a number of reasons. I can put everything that we need for a meal in this pot. This is in the refrigerator. With my notepad, I can leave Cindy some notes so she knows how to program, set, and bam, we've got a delicious meal when we're ready to come home. From our time savers here to our reminders, these are some of the tools that I think you need. It looks like a lot, and maybe in some smaller kitchens it could be, but all of this stuff here, it's not nonsense. Making your kitchen run smoother, that's Nunnsense.